We've gotten them onto a road and they are walking straight towards us. So you'll see that they're going to kind of look at us as they go. They'll sniff every now and then and they'll just kind of mark on the bushes. Now I'm trying to kind of reverse backwards with them, which is a little bit tricky. It's not easy to reverse with lions while it's dark and trying to actually see where we're going. So we'll just give them a bit more space than what I originally gave them. And it's just the one that you can see, but the rest are coming. I saw another one behind him, and so you'll find the other two will be there shortly. But there we go. There's the second one starting to appear now. So we're just going to roll backwards. It's a bit bumpy. I apologize. There we go. So I'll just kind of go there, and our lion should walk straight towards where we are, which is very, very cool. So Alexander, the average weight of an adult male lion like this is probably about 250 kilograms or 500 pounds, somewhere in that general vicinity. Sometimes they can get up to 600 pounds if they are really big individuals, but most of the time it's around 250 kilograms, 500 pounds, around there. So, but they are massive individuals. They're huge, huge, huge animals and are very impressive. So Logan, there's not different kinds of lions. There's just your stock standard lion here in Africa, and then you do get an Asiatic lion, which is a subspecies, and it's just because it occurs in Asia, so that's why it's called Asiatic lion. But slowly these boys are going, and I wonder, they look like they're heading towards where Taylor is. I'm not 100% sure where Taylor is, but they are walking in that general direction. So they're heading westwards, which I think is the same way that Taylor's lioness is walking. She's also walking west, and so I wonder if these boys are trying to maybe follow that lioness. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But here we go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You can see the eyes of a male lion is very special. Now they're kind of cutting up the road, it looks like, and maybe they're going to keep going more into the bush. And we'll just try and see if we can stay with them, though, and not lose them. I'm just going to turn a little bit so it's easier for Sebastian, and to give Sebastian a bit more light to work with, because it's still very, very dark. Now, I know the female is walking away, but these guys might be trailing that female, and that's why they're walking kind of west at the moment. I believe Taylor's lioness is also walking west, which quite a long way ahead of us, so we'll just have to see how it goes. Now that lioness wouldn't want to be caught by these three boys, because it's not going to be very easy for her to kind of get away from them, so hopefully she keeps moving and stays away from them. But look at them, they're like a bunch of gangsters that have come into an area. They mean business, they want to take over, and they just kind of ambling down the road as they do it. It's pretty cool to see, isn't it? I think it's very, very cool, and you can see how they kind of lope along. It's epic. So Daniela, you can see these guys are starting to grow their manes. Their manes are not fully grown yet. They'll get much bigger than this. And these guys are 5 years old. So you'll have a situation where their manes start to grow normally at around about 2.5, 3, you start to see a little bit of a mane growing. And then by the time they reach 7, their mane is normally fully grown. And then they have these beautiful big manes until they get to about 12. And then their mane starts to get a little bit smaller. You start to see hair kind of falling out a little bit as they get older, and their mane doesn't look nearly as impressive as a young male. So we'll see. And these guys have got 2 years or so until their manes are fully grown and fully developed. At the moment, just got little mohawks, and it will soon become big puffy manes like you see on other pictures or television of big male lions. So there's a little bit of time to go, and that's because they're still young, these guys. But it's amazing how they just walk into the night, and they are all the time listening and looking and trying to work out if they can find something that will give them an indication of either food or females. And so that's why they kind of walk like this. And the wind is blowing into our faces at the moment, so they're walking with the wind or into the wind. And the reason why lions walk into the wind is because they don't want to give their scent to blow ahead of them, so they would rather walk into the wind, and rather than they can smell things and things can't smell them. So if they're hunting, they don't give themselves away. Good. We're going to